So we got a new reveal today. We knew it was coming. The brand new core class that is going to be introduced into the Studio Series line and Studio Series 86 line. We already knew about the Ravage we're going to be getting, the Shockwave, a whole bunch of smaller price points for that Studio Series 86 line that was originally introduced with that of the Transformers Kingdom line, the core class. Now, we knew about this figure because of listings that we had kicking around, and now we finally get to see the core class Studio Series 86 Transformers the movie Exo-Suit Spike Witwicky. So this figure, much like the Ravage, is something that's going to scale with your other figures. Some of the core class stuff is meant to just be smaller versions of those characters, while others are meant to be something that scales with your other figures. And this isn't the first time we've gotten an Exo-Suit figure, isn't the second time, it isn't the fifth time. There was quite a few attempts throughout the years. Even very recently, we had two of them. One through the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line with that little bumper Buzzworthy Bumblebee. And then recently with the Studio Series 86 Slug, which came with the untransformable Daniel Witwicky Exo-Suit. So this is pretty cool, though. I like what I see here in terms of the tooling and engineering. There's similarities in different areas, and I'll get into that in a moment. But the first thing I want to talk about is scale. So when we're comparing the scale of, let's say, an Exo-Suit character to a full-size Transformer, the best side-by-side comparison that we could always fall onto is from the 86 movie itself. You know, Spike next to Bumblebee. You know, Spike and Bumblebee here. And considering that our mini-bots, like Bumblebee, have been turned into deluxe classes just recently, and that's going to be an ongoing trend in the future, I find that where we used to get mini-bots in that Legends core class kind of size, now they're deluxes, and now the human characters here, in this case of the Exo-Suit, are the core class. I think it's probably going to scale quite fantastically. I'd like to see some images in the future of this specific core class figure standing next to that of the Netflix Bumblebee figure, the deluxe class, or if you're buzzworthy versions, equivalencies of the Cliff Jumper mold, whatever that be. So I like that a lot. It looks really good. Now let's break down what's going on here specifically in terms of the mold and just how it looks in the end. So a lot of people are saying that it's just a repack of the original Masterpiece one that came with Bumblebee way back when. That is not the case. It's a brand new tooling, a brand new mold. I could tell 100%. I have both versions of that. And that is not the case at all. It's a brand new tooling. Number two, some people are saying that this might even be the same mold as the Studio Series 86 Slug untransformable one that came with the Daniel Witwicky one, but now given articulation and transformation. I could see where they're getting at with that, but that is not the case either. It's more just the fine details are obviously going to be the same between the two because it's both based off of the same idea, but you could see between the shoulders and little things here and there that it's not the same sculpt. You know, it really isn't. This is something made from the ground up, and it looks pretty cool. It comes with blast accessories, so that you could kind of have little things going on, which is nice. It's a nice touch that even every other version thus far, including the Masterpiece, lacked, which is like some nice little blast accessories to kind of reenact the inside of Unicron and knock the blast shield down and all that. So pretty cool. I do have some criticism a little bit compared to some of the previous versions. Now, the previous versions, obviously, we're all basing everything off of the original animation model from the 86 movie, and then we kind of take it from there. The original Masterpiece, I found, did a really good job at conveying how it looked in the movie. Not just in terms of the actual robot mode itself, but also the vehicle mode. What kind of is unfortunate with this one is the robot mode isn't too bad, but it has really wide shoulders, and I think that's just more a product of how do we get this transformation to work at this small price point? So they have to have these wide shoulders so to be part of the transformation. It's very wide shoulders. And also in the alt mode, it lacks the rear wheels that the Exo-Suit had. So I'm very curious how it's going to look in vehicle mode because it doesn't have rear wheels to kind of prop itself up. Maybe it's just missing in the art here, or whatever you want to call it, the production image on the back of the box. But it looks like it's lacking its rear wheels, which is very bizarre because the animation model had rear wheels, and every iteration that matched the animation model attempted to have those rear wheels too, in some shape or form, outside of obviously that little core class buzzworthy Bumblebee one that we got. So that's also kind of unfortunate too. The blast effects is a nice positive though. Could be used as boosters on the back of the vehicle mode, and obviously could be used as little blast effects for the robot mode when you're blasting down that blast shield. So pretty cool otherwise. The acid cover, whatever you want to call it, from the 86 movie. But it's just, I like what I see. I like that it's core class. It's a shame that they couldn't paint in the face a little better in the eyes. I'd have to see the sculpting of the face overall to like see how well done it is. I still lean more on the Masterpiece one being the best version that is available with that Bumblebee. But that being said, it's still not the best version that we would have gotten. CM Corporation back in the day, these were the people that made the Minerva, the Ginrai, those fantastic figures. They were going to make a full-size Exo-Suit with Spike and Daniel, and you could put their head sculpts inside the suit, and it had an interchangeable thing where it was a different bust on the inside of the dome. So when it's in vehicle mode, it would have been the best version. It would have been the best version. But unfortunately, CM Corporation went bankrupt in 2014, and well, everything went bottoms up for them, unfortunately, and this thing never got made. It would have been the best version. And so right now, I still think the Masterpiece probably is still the best official Exo-Suit interpretation, and that is that. But again, it's a nice attempt. Again, it's gonna be core class. It'll be affordable, and I think those blast effects will go a long way. It still looks good. I just think that we've had better done before. And considering how that Masterpiece Exo-Suit comes with that first version Bumblebee that nobody wants now because the new version Bumblebee is more popular, you could probably get that Exo-Suit pretty cheap now in the secondary market if there's people that bought it and want to get rid of it along with their Bumblebee. Now, I've seen arguments saying like, oh, well, it has to have those wide shoulders and the thicker arms because, realistically, the Exo-Suit, the character has to put its arms through it. And the original Exo-Suit, the arms were always so thin in both the animation model and all the previous toy designs, including the Masterpiece and the CM Corp version. And I've always firmly believed that the person who uses the Exo-Suit has their arms tucked into the chest area, and they're controlling everything through controls, including their arms and to a minor extent their legs too. I've always felt that because when you see them, especially when they go into the vehicle mode, how they also have kind of these joysticks that they're kind of controlling to use the vehicle mode. I feel that when they go in robot mode, those joysticks are also right in front of them, out of the sight of obviously the viewer. And that's how they control the arms and legs and stuff. That's just my take, but I mean, it's never been confirmed 100% how that works. I mean, obviously the characters are moving their arms and legs around as if they're in the slots, but that's a whole other discussion for a whole other time. But I just feel that the Masterpiece version still is the superior one. But this is not Masterpiece pricing. This is core class for retail. And I still think it does a pretty good job. And I'll definitely still pick it up because it's the 86 movie and it's Spike and it still looks pretty good. Just wish there was a little more paint. But again, what do you expect from a core class price point? The question is now more than anything, are they going to do a Daniel Witwicky? Is there going to be a repaint retool? We shall see. Let me know what you think. Really interesting stuff otherwise. Hopefully we'll get some more information as the week progresses.